overcast with a low of 25. Sunday, a 20% chance of freezing showers before 10 in the morning, overcast and breezy with a high of 41. Sunday night, mostly clear with a low of 24. Monday, sunny with a high of 50. Monday night, clear with a low of 32. Tuesday, sunny with a high of 56. I'm Paige Rockhold, KOFO News.
Stay tuned for the following special presentation from 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
KOFO, your sports source for East Central Kansas and radio home of Ottawa University Braves Athletics, welcomes you to Hoop Talk, our weekly chat with OU Braves head basketball coaches Tarnisha Scott and Aaron Siebenthal. You can join us live for Hoop Talk right now at our new location this season, PrimeTime Grille at Fusion Alley in South Ottawa. While you're enjoying the show, we invite you to enjoy the tasty Kansas cuisine, including the popular Braves Burger Hoop Talk Special. Hoop Talk is brought to you by PrimeTime Grill, Hingle & Son Mortuary, Ottawa University, and State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King. Now, here's your host of Hoop Talk, KOFO's Luke Queen.
And welcome everybody out to PrimeTime Grill, live out here for Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk. Luke Queen with you here this evening, and joining me here in our first segment is Ottawa University Braves men's head basketball coach Aaron Siebenthal. Coach, how are you doing tonight?
Good, Luke. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Food was good. You partook out here at the PrimeTime Grill, and always recommend anybody come out and try out PrimeTime, especially when we're out here broadcasting live. But, Coach, there's right before we were on here kind of talking, it's been kind of a crazy week here. Just everything in general. But you've played a couple games since the last time we talked, so just kind of going back into those two, is there definitely went 1-1, defeated Bethany, take a tough loss last night to Sterling. But let's go back to that Bethany one. Another close game with the Swedes. Went down there and won by 4, and then back here come away with a 1-point victory. Bethany is a team that's fighting for seeding in the conference tournament, playing well, able to get a couple wins over them in that short amount of time. So just kind of go back through that Bethany game a little bit with us.
Yeah, Bethany had been playing well. I think they were 4 or 5 coming into our game. And the one game they lost was to us at their place. I think we beat them by a lot more than 4 at their place. But I think
that's true. Yeah,
a route out there.
It was a route out there.
Which I think I think we might have taken them a little lightly coming to our place after we kind of put it on them at their place. But they're a good team. They kind of got their head up, and they got some guys who can make shots. They made some shots, and we were just tough enough to get some stops when we needed to, make some plays down the stretch, and we had a 4-point lead or a 3-point lead, and then we threw the ball away trying to go deep at the end, and they hit a layup at the buzzer to cut it to the 1-point lead. But it was a really good win for us, just to kind of feel like you weren't playing your best basketball, but still good enough to win. We'll take that any night of the week.
Absolutely, and yes, you're right. It was kind of a rout down at their place when you'd think I could read my own notes. It was a 4-point win over Sterling the last time you faced off against the Warriors. But yeah, so again, you've done this multiple times throughout this season, kind of been an odd year to begin with. Playing Bethany twice within 10 days, or maybe, I'm trying to think the dates, but, in a short amount of time with just a game in between is just not the normal thing. And to get them twice, both in February, late in the year, pushing for the conference tournament, it's tough to face the team back-to-back like that, or, even with one game in between.
Yeah, it's different, but, you look at then the Bethel game before that, it was 3 months in between playing them. So, it's a crazy year, and it is what it is. We're just glad that they could come and play us. We were supposed to play St. Mary on that night. They had to go into quarantine, and so it was good that they could fit us in, and they had an open date, which is really important. One, we got to play and try and get better, but it was also a senior night, and it was, wanted to celebrate those seniors and not have to, push that game back or move that game around with, our senior night. So I was glad that our seniors could be honored and their families could be there, and it was a good night and a good win.
Absolutely. Get to instead of having to get those senior parents, especially since they were allowed to come to the games last weekend, instead of having to push it to the midweek game to get that taken care of on Saturday. And that's, like you said, it's great that you were able to do that. Last night, a tough loss. The team found themselves down 12 there, midway through the second half, and, had to battle back from that. Got it tied up, sent it into overtime, came out on the wrong side in overtime. But, you have to battle through a lot when you're chasing somebody down like that late, and maybe expend a little bit more energy. But, Sterling, again, is another team that's had a couple good wins here lately and maybe playing some of their better basketball, and just a 4-point win down at their place, and then they come back and get the win last night. What did you see out of you guys last night that you can take away from that one?
Well, we were very good. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Sterling. They're a team that, they're going to be the underdogs in most games, and so for them, it's just kind of let it fly. If it goes in, great. If it doesn't, okay. See what we can do there. We weren't locked in defensively a lot of the nights. Offensively, we were really settling and taking poor shots that led to runouts for them, and really everything we talked about wanting to do, we didn't do, and everything we didn't want to do, we did, and so it was disappointing. I don't think, the results are the results. That's fine. But when you don't feel like a team got your best basketball, it's pretty disappointing. So hopefully we can right the ship. And, we're obviously a good team. We've got talented guys that they like each other and playing for each other. I think this year it's just harder than any year to try to be locked in and focused on every night. And we definitely gave one away last night.
Well, it's now 15-8 overall, 12-8 in the conference. Kind of puts you, as far as winning percentage-wise, it puts you at the 5 seed right now if the tournament was to start today. But you get one more game before that, and it can have a lot to do with what happens going towards the tournament next week, and go on the road. Same place you finished the season last year, on the road at McPherson. You talked about that Bethel game being 3 months since you had seen Bethel. Kind of almost the exact same situation here going against McPherson. Last time it was back December the 14th. Here it is, going to be February 20th, and taking on McPherson Bulldog team. Got you in double overtime. A heck of a game back in December. Again, it's been a long time since you've seen them. What are you expecting to see out of Mac? That anything different, or is it just going to kind of be the same old Mac and you just know what you got to do?
No, I think they're pretty similar. They've kind of been up and down. They're actually playing Southwestern right now. I think they just tipped about 15 minutes ago. So that game obviously impacts us quite a bit because it's the two teams that we're fighting for with seeding. So the good news for us is one of them has to lose. But no, I think, Mac's a good team. They're similar to us. I think they are, they like to really play fast, shoot it quick. One of the more athletic teams, maybe the most athletic team in the league. And so, I think our guys will be locked and ready to go. But I don't think they're not, this time of year, people aren't changing what they're doing. They are who they are, and we are who we are. So we just got to come out with a better focus and better intensity. And we have all of our goals as far as wanting to be top 4 seed, to get a first-round bye, to guarantee us a home game second round. All that stuff is still in front of us if we can get a win on Saturday, and that's really what it comes down to.
Absolutely, and like you said, with Mac and Southwestern playing right now, they're the two teams sitting, if everything just stayed with winning percentage right now, at 3 and 4, and so with a loss, somebody could definitely fall back there, and you guys could make up a half a game while you're sitting here talking to me, and your boys are resting at home a little bit. But McPherson, that game last year, a lot of fun. I was lucky enough to be able to go out to McPherson and see it. It's games are different this year. Atmosphere is not the same. It's more about everything is out on the floor this time around. You guys had a little bit of some local support at the time when McPherson came in, because students weren't around, so it was able to be opened up just a little bit. But again, it's been 3 months since you played this basketball team, and trying to get your guys just kind of ready to go for the stretch run here.
Yeah, it's a lot more about us than it is anything else. And playing in in empty gyms and everything. I mean, that's not an excuse for anybody anymore. We've seen that. We've done that. I mean, that's just kind of the norm anymore. So, I mean, we just got to go in with the mindset of, you know, we're going to play really hard and play together, and good things will happen if we do that. So, you know, it'll be a heck of a game. You know, obviously we got good vibes from playing there last year and ending our season there and winning the conference outright with a win. And you know, Ryan Haskins got a big stop late in that game, and Darryl Bowie and Javon Daniels were big time offensively to finish that game and seal that game. So, you know, it should be a really good game. They do a good job. It should be a fun game. Two similar styles, probably be a lot of points scored. So it's going to come down to who can get some stops and maybe take care of the ball a little bit more than the other team.
Well, and you said that, you know, maybe you weren't locked in defensively the last couple of times out, you know, and the way Sterling shot the basketball last night, especially from outside. At one point, I didn't look up at the very end, but 13 of 26 at one point from three range is tough to beat, but, you know, to be right there in that basketball game, McPherson-wise from the outside, that seems to be something that teams have been hitting a little bit more lately. Is it a team that you kind of have to worry more about the drive, or is it are they a real good shooting ball club?
You know, they've got guys that can do a lot. They have Cameron Jenkins as their leading scorer. He's one of the best three shooters in the league for sure. But they got guys that can do all kinds of different things. So it's you know, it's a game that's got to be a team approach on both ends, and especially defensively. We're not going to be able to stand, you know, in front of all their guys. We're going to have to rotate and be ready to help each other, and that's what we worked on today in practice. So hopefully some of that will translate. But we've done that stuff all year. So it's really just about, you know, who's going to be locked in and who's going to be competitive and, you know, show a sense of urgency. When we got down and we started playing, we had a good sense of urgency. We did some good things last night. It was just too late, and you know, we got to really get after it and have that sense of urgency right away. You know, especially on the road, or we're not going to have a chance in that game.
All right, well, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll kind of go over the postseason, kind of the KCAC tournament, kind of how the seedings are going to work on both the men's and women's side. As Coach Stephenthal is a part of the committee that's kind of going to do this. Is the schedule has been far unbalanced as it usually is, and so we'll kind of dive into that after this. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. You're listening to Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk from live here at PrimeTime Grille on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
You know why your tagline is not when it's game time, it's prime time? Well, how many screens do you have at home? At PrimeTime Grille at Fusion Alley, you've got over 40 screens to watch whatever game time it is, including the Ottawa High and Ottawa Middle School teams through the USD 290 Ottawa Sports Network. PrimeTime Grille can stream any of the games you request. Support your hometown team and enjoy the fine Kansas cuisine of PrimeTime Grille at the same time at primetime. Appetizers, drinks, entrees, salads, and more while you watch the Cyclones or the Whirlwinds in action. Now you know, when it's game time, it's prime time.
This is Craig Dingle of Dingle and Son Mortuary. We love all of our kids and do stuff for them all the time, even the grown-up kids. I have a suggestion of something you can do that you may not have thought of. Make your funeral arrangements. You can't imagine how stressful it is for families who have no clue as to what their folks wanted or where to find all the information needed for the death certificate. We can help you make formal arrangements, or we can give you forms to fill out at home. Give us a call at any one of our funeral homes. We're glad to help.
Dingle and Son Mortuary, 785-242-2323.
Let's face it, auto insurance can be confusing. Do you know your comprehensive from your collision, your no-fault from liability, your premium from your deductible? After an accident is no time to find out that your definition of full coverage is actually different from what your policy says. Let local State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King explain auto insurance in terms you can understand.
I'm State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King. Let's work together to be sure your vehicle has the coverage you need. Call and schedule an appointment today at 242-9435. Stop by my office at 111 South Main in Ottawa, or visit online at keithking.net.
It's never too late to become who you're supposed to be. However, sometimes you may need a little help. Ottawa University can get you there. Their faculty and staff are dedicated to preparing graduates for a lifetime of significance. With dozens of degree programs, including accounting, engineering, human services, and marketing, as well as graduate degrees in business administration and education, Ottawa University will prepare you for whatever or whoever you want to be. Don't wait. Get started today. Find out more by visiting online at ottawa.edu.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Back here at PrimeTime Grille Live with Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk with Edmonds coach Aaron Siebenthal here, and tonight we've just got a lot about the guys basketball as the Braves women's team was on the road this afternoon. They went down to Southwestern, came away with the victory 65-53, and again you could hear on our airwaves and or on the live stream, but big win for the Braves women's team this afternoon. So Coach isn't back in town, so we've got Coach Siebenthal, and we'll be joined later by a couple players off of the men's team. But Coach, coming up this weekend, a big game, like you said, McPherson and Southwestern playing each other. They're sitting right in front of you. You know, as far as the standings go and winning percentage-wise. So one of them's going to lose. And you got McPherson on Saturday. So, you know, right now you're sitting in kind of the 5-seed spot. But things can change here rather quickly in the next, you know, actually in about an hour and a half or, you know, in the next few days. So kind of explain to me how what the kind of the format will be. I know you expanded out to 12 teams, so the top 4 will get a bye until next Thursday, or next Wednesday. And the 5 through 12 teams will play each other on Monday evening. So, you know, what's the kind of the criteria that you're looking at to, because everybody's got an unbalanced schedule right now?
So I think kind of what you mentioned, starting with winning percentages is a good way to start. But basically, I'm part of what's called the oversight committee, and what our job is to usually is to help come up with the rankings of the teams in our league as far as who we're going to push for the national rankings of the top 25. So it's kind of like the executive committee of the coaches. What that's turned into this year is we will actually decide as a committee after Saturday's games the 1 through 13 seeds. Excuse me. And so that'll include, we'll decide who is the conference regular season champion. And so we're doing that a lot of different ways. It's not just on win percentage because, you know, a team may have played a few less games or a few more games. A team may have played more of the bottom end of the conference as far as wins and losses. So maybe one team's played the 9 and 10 teams twice, but they haven't played the top 2 teams both times. So, you know, we're going to look at it that way, kind of a whole body of work. And so, you know, if you look at the winning percentages, you know, I think teams have the ability to probably move up or down, maybe one slot, one way or another, probably. But that's what we're going to do as soon as those games are over Saturday, and that's why a lot of the men's games, including ours, will be before the women's game, is so we can get that done. And so, like you mentioned, once we have the seedings done, whoever is first in the league will get the automatic bid for winning the regular season. The criteria there was you had to play at least 16 of the 24 conference games. I think most teams got that in. And then we'll just seed the rest of the teams all the way through. The top 4 teams will receive a bye, will not have to play on Monday. And then the 5 through 12 will play on Monday, but the host site will be the top seed. And then you go into the regular bracket play on Wednesday. Again, the higher seed hosts, semifinals on Saturday, higher seed hosts, and the championship game will be Monday, March 1st in Hartman Arena down in Wichita. So, you know, it's not a perfect science. We've been meeting as a group really every weekend, or at least exchanging texts and emails, and everybody kind of puts their thoughts in, who they think is 1 through 13, and if there's people that are close, you kind of justify why you think one team over another. We were actually third last weekend when we did that, so you know, we're really right there. Last night's loss hurt a lot. Not gonna lie. We also the RPI rankings came out and we were 31st in the RPI. 48 teams make it to the national tournament. So at the time, our RPI looked pretty good. I thought we had a good chance to maybe get an at-large bid, which I still think we have a chance at that. But we're probably going to need to go on a little run here and maybe get to the conference tournament championship, win 3 or 4 in a row that way. But there's still what our goal is to make it to the national tournament, and we've got all that in front of us still. So we made it a little harder on ourselves last night, but we haven't lost all those options.
All right, so you said you have to play 16 of the 24 conference games. As far as qualifying for a national tournament, unless you win the...
No, you had the 16 games was just to win the regular season title.
Okay.
There is not a minimum to get into our conference tournaments. And so that was just a way where, if a team only got 12 or 13 games in and was 11-2, how do you compare that to a team that's, 20-4? Well, obviously the bigger body of work, even maybe with the worst winning percentage, is more important over time, because obviously normally we're playing 24 games, which is a heck of a lot of conference games. And so we didn't want to diminish, that accomplishment. It's probably Bethel, but it's not confirmed yet, but it's probably going to be Bethel be the number 1 seed. And then really there's a couple of different groups in there that got to kind of battle it out. I think Friends and I think K-Dub play tonight, or K-Dub plays somebody, which will help them kind of split their tie. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to go on that'll kind of hopefully right the ship and hopefully make our jobs easier as that group. But we'll have a pretty lively Zoom conference sometime late Saturday afternoon, early evening, and try and get this whole thing figured out.
So it could be a very long day for you in McPherson since you're on the road. This would obviously be maybe easier for you if you were at Wilson Fieldhouse, so you could run over to the whole center and sit down in your office. But I could see that being a very long conference, conference call, I should say. McPherson playing tonight. They've played 21 conference games, so they play tonight, and then again on Saturday we'll actually play 23, whereas there's going to be some that aren't playing tonight that might be at 18, 19 games by the end of the day Saturday. Bethel currently sitting up top, 16-4 in conference play. Oklahoma Wesleyan 13-4. Look like the kind of established themselves 1-2 maybe. McPherson, Southwestern, and you guys right there, McPherson at 13-8, Southwestern 11-7, you guys 12-8. Really jumbled up right there, and one of those 3 teams quite possibly could have to turn around after Saturday and play on Monday with very short term. Maybe who you're going to play, so it's not much for scouting as far as that goes, but that would be a real quick turnaround, where a nice day off on Sunday and a few days of practice to get ready for a Wednesday night game would be great.
Yeah, we'd rather have the bye. We should have a home game. Our first game in the conference tournament should be a home game one way or another. It just might be on Monday, it might be on Wednesday. So, we'd rather play on Wednesday and have a day off and maybe go light on Monday. But it is what it is at this point. We are who we are. Our guys have all the ability in the world, and if they're locked in and they want to do it, then we're going to be a tough team to beat. And if we're not, then we're going to struggle to be in every game, and we might win, we might not. But I have confidence in these guys that they're going to get off the bus on Saturday and they're going to be ready to go, because they know what opportunities still lie in front of them.
Well, and as a big-time college basketball fan, and I've been watching, Division I NCAA tournaments over the years, I remember the Big East tournament is when it was really a big tournament. It became having to win 4 games in 4 days to get to the NCAA, and the first team to do that ends up making a run. I believe it was Syracuse one year making it to the Final Four. So you can get hot at that time of year, but it is a challenge to win 4 games in 7 days against 4 different opponents that you guys would have to face if you started on Monday and made it to the conference championship game, which would be on, as you said, March 1st down at Hartman in Wichita. So I'm going to wish you the best of luck. I'm going to be, watching and cheering from my couch on Saturday afternoon. My dog will probably go hide under the bed as I scream at the television. But, good luck to you. You got it right in front of you. And as a big fan, I always want to see my alma mater and friends do well. So good luck to you, Coach.
Appreciate that, Luke.
All right, well, we're going to take another timeout. When we come back, we'll be joined by a couple Ottawa University Braves players. You're listening to Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
It's never too late to become who you're supposed to be. However, sometimes you may need a little help. Ottawa University can get you there. Their faculty and staff are dedicated to preparing graduates for a lifetime of significance. With dozens of degree programs, including accounting, engineering, human services, and marketing, as well as graduate degrees in business administration and education, Ottawa University will prepare you for whatever or whoever you want to be. Don't wait. Get started today. Find out more by visiting online at ottawa.edu.
This is Craig Dingle of Dingle & Son Mortuary. When you buy a monument from us, you can count on us to set your stone so that it will remain stable through the years. We pour a substantial amount of fresh concrete with stabilizing piers for the base. A monument is a permanent recording of your family history, and you have every right to expect it to be standing straight and tall for future generations to see. We have been here for generations, and we'll be here to back our guarantee.
Dingle & Son Mortuary, 785-242-2323.
You know why your tagline is not when it's game time, it's prime time? Well, how many screens do you have at home? At PrimeTime Grille at Fusion Alley, you've got over 40 screens to watch whatever game time it is, including the Ottawa High and Ottawa Middle School teams through the USD 290 Ottawa Sports Network. PrimeTime Grille can stream any of the games you request. Support your hometown team and enjoy the fine Kansas cuisine of PrimeTime Grille at the same time at PrimeTime. Appetizers, drinks, entrees, salads, and more while you watch the Cyclones or the Whirlwinds in action. Now you know, when it's game time, it's prime time.
Let's face it, auto insurance can be confusing.
Do you know your comprehensive from your collision, your no-fault from liability, your premium from your deductible? After an accident is no time to find out that your definition of full coverage is actually different from what your policy says. Let local State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King explain auto insurance in terms you can understand.
I'm State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King. Let's work together to be sure your vehicle has the coverage you need. Call and schedule an appointment today at 242-9435. Stop by my office at 111 South Main in Ottawa or visit online at keithking.net.
You took an antacid, and now your frequent heartburn's back. Stop heartburn before it begins with Prilosec OTC. Its unique delayed-release formula blocks heartburn at the source for 24 hours, so you can extinguish heartburn before it starts. Make the switch to Prilosec OTC today and live heartburn-free. Prilosec OTC. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. Whether you want to learn Spanish for future travel plans, French to connect with extended family, or maybe German to land a new job, Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you'll actually use. All you need is 15 minutes a day, and you'll be on your way to confidently speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel is designed by real language experts using a modern conversation-based technique that makes learning fun, engaging, and best of all, memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then sentences gradually get more complex. Soon you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. And with 14 languages to choose from and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll be sure to learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Welcome back out here to PrimeTime Grille. Luke Queen with you for Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk. And joining me now, a couple Braves standouts here, Jaquan Daniels and Perry Carroll. Thanks for coming out, guys. Appreciate you being here. So, guys, we've got one more regular season game here, so just kind of, it's been, Steve and I were talking before this last break, it's been 3 months since you played them. It was a double overtime loss that you guys suffered that day, but it was back in December. So, Quan, do you remember much of that game?
Yeah, actually, I do. I remember me getting fouled out that game. I remember that. Yeah, I feel like we could have done better that game. You know, we had a lot of energy coming in. We played great as a defensive team and offensive team. We just didn't make a couple shots that we needed, and just lost at the end.
I remember it was a fun game to watch.
Fun game.
Anytime, you know, what was, I think it was like 102 to 99, if I remember right, and you guys had a shot at the end, but it just went in and out.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was a good look, just didn't go in, but you take those back in December, and last year you were down, you finished the season at McPherson for the outright championship. You were part of that team as well. And had a big game offensively, if I remember, and maybe one of the my favorite dunks I've ever seen in a college basketball game that afternoon as well.
Yeah, I haven't done that in so long.
But, you know, that was a fun way to finish the season. You know, McPherson's a really tough team. They're always up top of the conference with you guys. So, you know, what are you kind of looking for Saturday as far as, like, anything McPherson going to try to throw at you a little different now?
Basically, it's just revenge. Just got to come out and just beat them this time. Just get the dub. You know, they're at home, so we got to come to their home court and, you know, beat them at home and set the standards high.
And you got them both times last year?
Yes, sir. I think we got them actually 3 times. I think we
and then you got them in the. I remember in the tournament getting them as well. I think in the semifinal at home. Came back and got them again. So you know, that was a fun game. Perry, your first time through the KCAC here in an odd KCAC year.
Yes, sir.
But so what can you know? Let's say your first year here at Ottawa, you know, Ottawa University, as everybody listening knows, has heard your name, but it's been about 3 years now since they did. But, you know, you used to hear it a lot from Gary Bateman during the Ottawa high school days. But, you know, you guys, you know, playing that game back in December, you know, played a couple games at the end of October, right at the beginning of November, basically the entire month of November off, and then kind of hammering in some games there at the beginning of December. So, you know, you were 4 or 5 games into even playing with just your practices at OU. You know, so, you know, do you feel like you've become more maybe a piece on the team, or everything's gelling together a little bit more now?
Oh, absolutely.
Compared to where you were on the team back then?
Yeah, absolutely. At the beginning of the year, it was more us gelling together. A lot of us haven't played together. We had a lot of new guys, and like Ian, he was a big kid. Like, there's just a whole bunch of new guys coming in, and like, we weren't at first, like, that we had a 3-game losing streak. So like, we were just trying to find our pieces, and throughout the season, like, when it came to December, we were like, we really need to pick up our stuff, and defense was a big key. And I think as a leader now, I think I have a big part of this team, and just all the guys have confidence in me, so that even makes it better. So
yeah, and at the time, if I remember correctly, you weren't even starting.
Yeah,
in December.
At the beginning of the year, I was not starting. I kind of earned my spot this year. It was a good thing. Like, I didn't use it. I use it as motivation. Like, they need me. So like, it's a team thing. So.
And it's definitely been coming, you know, like you said, you guys started out 0-3 in conference.
Yeah.
You know, now here you are pushing for the, you know, one of the top 4 seeds going into the conference tournament next week. You know, we were discussing that as well with Coach Siebenthal before. You know, last year, Jaquan, you guys were number 1, you know, and there was no doubt about it. You played all 24 games, so did everybody else, and you guys won it outright, so everybody was gunning for you. Well, now you're kind of looking up at a couple teams that, you know, are probably, you know, going to win it. It's probably not going to be you guys. You know, does that give you a little bit of motivation to get back there and to get that, you know, maybe that banner hung a little bit?
Most definitely is. it's just motivation as a team that we got to come together as a family and just fight, just never give up, and just keep fighting to the end.
And you got, taking down both of the teams that are sitting up at 1 and 2 this season. Got Bethel, and you got fouled on the end, but Perry was there to clean it up since there was no call to get that win, last week against Bethel. Also take down Oklahoma Wesleyan. Those are the two sitting at the very top. Good teams. McPherson and Southwestern playing right now, so we kind of aren't sure where they're going to be sitting. You guys, might be moving into the 4th seed in just an hour or so. But
going on McPherson or the Southwestern game.
And you also have a big hand in where your seating can be by taking on McPherson this weekend. And it's on the road, even with kind of an empty gym or very few people in there. Road games are still tough.
It is tough. Basically, you got to come in with a lot of energy and stick to the game plan. We coming in and just, they beat us, like I said, so we got to come in at home court, just take care of business.
And do you feel like you got the pieces and are playing where you need to be or ready to be there for Saturday afternoon?
I think we're ready.
And another goofy change is the fact that things have to be seated, so instead of playing the usual 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock tip, you guys playing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday, which is not really normal for you. I've heard at different levels, college football, for example, they talk about that early morning game as opposed to a prime time or, even mid-afternoon game. Getting up early and having to travel out to McPherson, is that something that, you guys are thinking about, or is it just going to be another business trip for you?
No, we just got to come ready and come prepared. Like you said, it's another business trip. We just got to take care of it and just come out and get the dub.
All right, well, Barry, what do you think going into this McPherson game? Last time, I don't have exactly how many minutes you played or anything in that game, but Jaquan had a little foul trouble, and, you got good minutes that day and, kind of balanced things out. But it was 3 months ago. You're starting now. And, what can you remember from those guys that you guarded you that you're kind of looking to maybe take advantage of Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, they're a good basketball team. Credit to them. But, like you said, it was all the way back in December, and, we're a completely new team. And, I kind of think part of what happened because I missed big free throws toward the end of the game. But it is a team game. But going into Saturday, it is an early game, but we need to come into the game with a mindset of winning. This game, there's a lot of stake. It's a big game, so we really need to come out and be focused.
Well, and you said you might have missed, I didn't remember you missing big free throws in that game, but that is not something you have had trouble with here recently. You needed 2 free throws at 3.2 seconds to 3.1 seconds on the clock the other night, and to force overtime, and you stepped up and did that, and I can remember more of those times than I remember the ones you missed.
Absolutely,
So, maybe your game has developed a little bit over that time.
A little bit.
All right, well, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more individually with these two guys. You're listening to Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk from live here at PrimeTime Grille on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
Let's face it, auto insurance can be confusing. Do you know your comprehensive from your collision, your no-fault from liability, your premium from your deductible? After an accident is no time to find out that your definition of full coverage is actually different from what your policy says. Let local State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King explain auto insurance in terms you can understand.
I'm State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King. Let's work together to be sure your vehicle has the coverage you need. Call and schedule an appointment today at 242-9435. Stop by my office at 111 South Main in Ottawa or visit online at keithking.net.
It's never too late to become who you're supposed to be. However, sometimes you may need a little help. Ottawa University can get you there. Their faculty and staff are dedicated to preparing graduates for a lifetime of significance. With dozens of degree programs, including accounting, engineering, human services, and marketing, as well as graduate degrees in business administration and education. Ottawa University will prepare you for whatever or whoever you want to be. Don't wait. Get started today. Find out more by visiting online at ottawa.uoc.ca. ottawa.edu.
You know why your tagline is not when it's game time, it's prime time? Well, how many screens do you have at home? At PrimeTime Grille at Fusion Alley, you've got over 40 screens to watch whatever game time it is, including the Ottawa High and Ottawa Middle School teams through the USD 290 Ottawa Sports Network. PrimeTime Grille can stream any of the games you request. Support your hometown team and enjoy the fine Kansas cuisine of PrimeTime Grille at the same time at PrimeTime. Appetizers, drinks, entrees, salads, and more while you watch the Cyclones or the Whirlwinds in action. Now you know, when it's game time, it's prime time.
This is Craig Dingle of Dingle and Son Mortuary. We love all of our kids and do stuff for them all the time, even the grown-up kids. I have a suggestion of something you can do that you may not have thought of. Make your funeral arrangements. You can't imagine how stressful it is for families who have no clue as to what their folks wanted or where to find all the information needed for the death certificate. We can help you make formal arrangements, or we can give you forms to fill out at home. Give us a call at any one of our funeral homes. We're glad to help.
Dingle and Son Mortuary, 785-242-2323.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. Whether you want to learn Spanish for future travel plans, French to connect with extended family, or maybe German to land a new job, Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you'll actually use. All you need is 15 minutes a day, and you'll be on your way to confidently speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel is designed by real language experts using a modern, conversation-based technique that makes learning fun, engaging, and best of all, memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then sentences gradually get more complex. Soon you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. And with 14 languages to choose from and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll be sure to learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Welcome back here live at the PrimeTime Grille. Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk. Luke Queen with you, and here with Barry Carroll and Jaquan Daniels from the Braves men's basketball team. And we're going to kind of go over to Jaquan here, and second year at Ottawa, and the reigning KCAC Offensive Player of the Week, the second time this season that you've gotten that award. Also, the last time you got it, you were also the NAIA National Player of the Week after a heck of a week, averaging 34.5 points a game. I can't remember how many rebounds, but I know it was over 7 steals, and still no defensive accolades that week. We were kind of joking about that in the break.
But give it to me.
I don't know how many more steals a game you're going to need to get Defensive Player of the Week, but that's pretty impressive that week it was. But last week, a couple victories, kind of helping to, get that against Bethel and Bethany, averaged 20-some a ball game and doing that, but, averaging just under 19 a game right now, still, over 2 steals a ball game, almost 6 rebounds, shooting 50% from the floor. Been pretty efficient so far this season.
Pretty much, yeah, man. Just got to keep up the good work and just stay in the gym and be positive.
And I didn't write down how many assists. I didn't even look. I can probably pull it up real fast, but it's a.
I try to pass the ball. I try to pass the ball. Give my teammates good shots, good looks. Sometimes it go in, sometimes it don't. It's just gotta keep it going.
And sometimes when they pass it to you, it's a good look. If you're making 1 out of every 2 you put up there, obviously it's going pretty well. So, you were there last year. We talked a little bit about that, the McPherson game last year and everything. But, last year was a magical season for sure. Ended in a really crummy way after a great high that you guys might have, were probably on. But really, can you go through maybe a little bit of what's the big difference between kind of last year's group and this year's group? There's a lot of new guys, but a lot of guys back as well.
Right.
And then everything else that's gone on this year that's made it a little crazy. So what is the differences kind of between this season and last?
Last year's season, I'd say the group of guys we all bought in what we had to do, and we all was like tune in together. So we all wanted just one thing, and they were just to win a championship and get a ring. And this year's team, we struggle at coming together as a family, as a unit, and just being around each other and just helping each other out day in, day night.
And early on in the season, it kind of took, you spent a month where you guys didn't get to play ball. Maybe get a little bit of an individual workout or small group workout at best throughout the month of November, and then welcome to the KCAC conference schedule, and you've been through that before. But you usually get, 6 or 7 games to lead into it. This year you had 2 and then a month off. Back in December, things didn't go quite as well as you would hoped, I'm sure.
Yeah, I feel like most of this COVID situation messed some teams up in this conference by not having games as they should. So it was like more kind of like a off season than more like playing more games.
So definitely it's tough to get into a rhythm.
Hard.
You guys started getting into that rhythm after a few games there in December, and you really taken over there. You were leading the team in scoring, have been from day one, which is great. And then went out with an injury for a little bit too, and
1-2 games.
Missed at least game and a half. I mean, it happened early on in that game, and had to miss another one. But kind of getting back into a rhythm. It didn't seem like it took you long once you came back to get back into that rhythm.
It really did. My team knew, I was out, and they told me not to rush my injury, not to come back too early, just come back 100% healthy, and they took care of business versus Dr. Wilson and Taylor, and when I came back, it just all came together.
And you guys are playing well at this time of year. Again, offensive player of the weeks are given out for, you don't get those just by scoring a lot of points if your team loses both games.
You have to win.
So a couple wins last week to get you that. The first time around, you might have had a little bit of a better week when you get the National Player of the Week. But, we can't all score 34.5 points a ball game.
It's not easy.
But you guys are playing well, and so we look forward to what you got for the rest of the season too. Hopefully, quite a few more games.
Yeah, I got a couple more tricks on my sleeve. I'm gonna pull out and show the world.
I like it. I'm hoping to see maybe another dunk down at McPherson like I remember last year. If you got one of those, I'd love to see it on Saturday.
Don't try to kill me this time.
All right, well, we're going to kind of go over to Perry now. So, again, we got a joke about it. Perry, a name that has been heard on the KOF airwaves for a while. You've, 3 years in high school and, been gone for a couple, went to Allen County for a couple years, then to Fort Hays, and now transferred back to OU. And I'll be honest, glad to see you back playing. I enjoyed watching you in high school, and so I can actually say I got to see you play in middle school a couple times too. But we kind of went through statistics here. Barry, you averaged 17 a ball game, 3 rebounds, just over 3 assists a ball game, right at a steal. You as well, shooting 50% from the floor and 36% from outside. Has been a big boost here this year. So, how is it being back in Ottawa playing basketball again?
Oh, it's good to be home. I get jokes all the time talking about local kid, hometown hero every day. But it's really good to be home, and this group of guys, it makes it, I'm home, but it makes it feel even more homey, being here, so that's good.
Feeling a part of the team was welcoming to a hometown guy coming back.
Absolutely.
And, it has been a fun year a little bit and maybe a little stressful at times with all the changes that you guys have done. You didn't have to deal with that at Allen County or Fort Hays as much, as everybody has this year with the COVID. But, I kind of wanted to ask, the differences between, the Jayhawk Conference. I guess could have asked Quan as well, coming from out of Highland. You guys Jayhawk Conference guys, and it is a very good basketball in the Jayhawk Conference. Kind of a little bit of what the difference is, at those different levels, Jayhawk Conference, KCAC, with the Division II that you were at last year, Perry, kind of a little bit of those differences. Love to hear about.
Like in the Jayhawk Conference, there's a lot of dogs. Like JUCO, that's a grind, and there's a lot of guys out there that with D1s, D2s, like whatever it may be, and it was definitely tough basketball. Back at Fort Hayes, the competition was definitely good. MIAA is a very tough conference. Every game you had to be going into every game with a mentality of winning. There's no cheat games. There's no easy wins. So, and then coming here, it's about the same thing. Like there's no easy wins. Like it doesn't matter if you're at the bottom of the conference or at the top. Like they'll sneak up on you. So it's that basketball is basketball. There's a lot of competitors out there. There's guys in places where they could be D1, but they're at NAIA, just whatever it may be. There's basketball players out there. So.
And Jaquan, just that's back to you. Kind of same experience, you think, coming, from Highland, Jayhawk Conference here to Ottawa and KCAC?
Right, just like how Perry said, and JUCO, there's a lot of different JUCO players out there that play like different style of basketball, and you just have to adjust from that, and mainly the referees too. Because referees are different from KCAC referees and Jayhawk referees. It's totally different.
You can foul.
Yeah, actually, so you can play a little tough basketball, but different divisions, you got to line up on defense just a little bit.
And, with that, JUCO ball is, you kind of alluded to it, a little bit different. You got guys that maybe went D1 and then, I don't know, maybe came back to, whether it be get grades right, do something like that, or maybe are at that level and weren't grade-wise, and then you got guys, that are 18 that just graduated high school that are trying to get to that 4-year program. And, you guys both obviously have done that, and, so congratulations on that, and also being very successful in everything that you guys have done. But, it's fun to see you guys play basketball. I know it's been killing me this year not to be inside Wilson Fieldhouse like I am basically every single game, most years.
Yeah, miss the fans, or miss them.
And, I miss sitting in my seat, but, but I'm sure that I would have helped out in a couple of those tough, close losses at home. I could have swung the tide a little bit. Yeah. But, we do get to watch, can watch the stream, listen to it on KOFO, and Casey does a great job of covering you guys for sure. But McPherson going to be a tough game this weekend, and like you said, we'll know in about 45 minutes to an hour, quite possibly, if you're still sitting winning percentage-wise as a 5 seed, or maybe it's a 4 seed. 4 games back right now, just one to play for you. Half a game left for 2 guys in front of you. So, obviously, big game this weekend, and we'll look forward to you guys getting out there and taking care of business. We know you guys can go on the road and win a basketball game. So, good luck with that. I just appreciate you guys coming out and talking with me tonight, and maybe letting everybody know a little bit more about each one of you.
Thank you for having us.
You might be 0-1 in the score, on the roster sheet, but guys that definitely have to pay attention to. Small numbers don't always translate into statistics, right? So, guys, I appreciate you again coming out here, and good luck this weekend. I will be in action on Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock. They'll take on the McPherson Bulldogs out in McPherson, and it's going to be forced seeding, and if we can come away getting that top 4, we'll be back in action again next week on Wednesday if they're in that top 4, and we just expect that to be the way it is. And if it doesn't work out perfectly for us, we get to watch you play an extra game on Monday, but I know you guys will be ready to go no matter when you play. All right, well, that's all we got here tonight from out at PrimeTime Grille. You've been listening to Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk on 1220 and 103.7 FM, KOFO.